Hello guys from Plant Reviews, today 17th of June, and I'll talk now about Gardenia jasminoides Kleim's hardy. It's a cultivar of the Gardenia jasminoides species, also known as simply Gardenia or Cape jasmine. This is an evergreen flowering plant in the Rubiaceae family, a family to which belongs also the coffee plant. It is distributed in the wild in Asia, and particularly in southern China, Vietnam, Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Myanmar, India and Bangladesh. It is therefore a subtropical and warm temperate climate plant. The plant has been widely cultivated as an ornamental plant in China for at least 1,000 years, and has been widely used in gardens in temperate and subtropical areas in many parts of the world, as well as houseplant in countries with colder climate, including myself 3 times, and all 3 times the plant died. Unfortunately, it's a plant that I absolutely love. So I didn't have much luck with the houseplant gardenias. However, I get a little bit more luck with with some cultivars, the hardy cultivars of the Gardenia, and I will tell later on just a little bit more luck. This plant was introduced from Asia to English garden in the 18th century, and the name Gardenia jasminoides comes from the fact that the English botanist John Ellis described this plant in 1761 and gained its association. Sorry, and not gained its association. Well, this plant gained its association with the jasmine because the botanist indeed compared the flowers and the fragrance of the gardenia to the jasmine. There's several species of jasmine, and they smell differently if they smell, because some jasmines are not fragrant at all, and also the flower shape is quite different as well. The flower color in many jasmines. For example, the Chinese jasmine, the so-called pink jasmine, the Jasminum polyanthum, has both a fragrance and a flower shape that to me doesn't really look anything like a gardenia. Possibly the botanist was describing rather the Jasminum officinale. I have this one, the officinale inverlate, that has a fragrance that is a little bit more similar to the gardenia, and the flower shape is vaguely similar to the gardenia as well. Wild type of gardenias have a simple flower. However, the gardenia, most famous gardenias have a double flower. However, the fragrance is absolutely amazing in both the varieties. The plants themselves are famous not only for the fragrance but also for the beautiful foliage that varies in color from dark green most of the times to lime green, as in the plant I have. I've never seen a gardenia this pale in color. However, I have to say that the plant looks still very healthy at the moment. The other name of the gardenia is Cape jasmine, and this is because the fact that there was an earlier belief that the flower originated from the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa, from an area from which many beautiful plants are from, but not Gardenia jasminoides. Gardenia jasminoides is a shrub, and as you can see is a pretty brownish grayish bark, and the foliage is made of leaves that are very shiny and kind of waxy. The plant produces some of the most beautiful white flowers of all plants. You can see that they look in the simple gardenias like a pinwheel, while in double gardenias they look more like a rose. And in this cultivar, I think the Kleim sardi has a flower that is particularly beautiful because of the pure white, I would say an ivory white flower with this pinwheel shaped with a bright yellow scent. And also the fragrance is absolutely incredible. It smells kind of citrusy, very similar to Jasminum officinale. However, is more earthy, the fragrance. Indeed, actually, Mr. Kid Girl in one other video about gardenias actually compared this, commented this fragrance as earthy, and actually I agree with her. Is a kind of earthy, but I definitely smell also a little bit of sweet, but most citrus, and I love the citrus fragrances. And as you know, Gardenia is one of my favorite plants of all time. However, this is one that I find, as I said, very, very difficult to grow. Every time I tried it as houseplant, it died. Luckily, the horticulturist were able to develop some hardy varieties, including this one. There is the Kleim's hardy, and these plants are hardy up to down to -7 degrees, while usual gardenias need to have a minimum temperature of 5 degrees plus 5 degrees, so above 0. The plant need acidic soil, so ericaceous soil, and needs to be regularly fertilized in spring and summer with fertilizer specific for acid loving for plants loving acidic soils. Also, ideally the plant should be watered with rainwater, because it's so sensitive to hard water and high pH in the ground that you'd really try your best to keep this plant alive. I'm not the only person having difficulties with this plant. Many people had difficulties with gardenias, even if the Kleim's hardy seems to be a bit hardier than most gardenias. The plant need to be cultivated in partial shade, so about 5 to 6 hours direct sunlight, ideally just in the morning, and the soil need to be kept moist but not waterlogged. Honestly, in periods of drought, I don't have unfortunately a reservoir of rainwater, so I water it with just tap water. This plant has been purchased just a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not too sure how it will fare. Anyway, I'll show you in a couple of minutes my other two plants that I bought last year. The plant again, itself reaches about 90 centimeters to 1 meter high. This variety, the Kleim's hardy, so about 3 foot and a half. And this, if you really need to prune the plant, that is not really recommended, but if you have to, just prune it after blooming, because in autumn the plant produces the new shoots with the buds that then will develop in spring and summer. As I said, ensure to keep the soil moist, but not at all waterlogged. This is really a plant that is not easy to keep, but is so beautiful and fragrant that I'm always tempted to. So I hope to have with this one better luck surely than with my houseplant gardenias, but also more than the plant I cultivated last year. Last year I had in these two spots two gardenias, the Kleim's hardy and another double flower variety that I don't remember now the name. I think is the it was a double flower variety, and I think it is the jewel something. However, unfortunately, even if this plant was, I put it in acidic soil, and it was with next to a blueberry plant that also loves acidic soil, and as you can see is growing pretty well, my gardenia decided to basically die. I tried to pot it, to lift it from the ground to a pot and put it in some shade, because I thought it was maybe too much sun and not much moist the soil, and this is the result I got. So a completely dead gardenia. However, the other one is still alive, and I hope for a while. And it started producing some small buds as well, as you can see. However, doesn't look good. The leaves are quite yellow, so I'm not too sure what is going on, but probably the reason is because the plant is I'm watering the plant with hard water. So evidently I will need to try to put a reservoir with rainwater, because really this plant looks terrible. What I will do with this plant is still mostly green. I will lift it from the soil as well and try to cultivate it in a pot so I can have a better control of the conditions. My other gardenia that had the double flower, let me check because I want to try to find out. It was the gardenia, I think it was something with jewel, and that is the crown jewels. Sorry guys to keep you here just until I found the name. Yes, I just found. Yeah, you can see, I'll show you the image here. The gardenia, the crown jewel, as you can see, is double flowered. I hope you can see. Yeah, you see, this is the gardenia crown jewel, double flower, that unfortunately I think is the one that died. And I hope that this one that is still alive will not follow its the destiny, the fate of the other plant. So I lift it up from the garden, and hopefully I will give you an update of a better result. And I hope obviously to keep these beautiful Kleims hardy still in shape for next year, because I would love to have a much bigger plant and enjoy the fragrance for many years. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you would like to leave any comment, positive or negative, please do. It will be great. And if you would like to subscribe to the channel, it will also be great. So in this way you can get updates when I post new videos as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.